Good morning. This is Wealth Principle number 27. We've been doing this now for 27 weeks, which means we're halfway through the year and then one. If you haven't checked out the Wealth Principles, you can go to waltermorello.com/blog and look at all 52 Wealth Principles for the year. We're currently at one of my favorite wealth principles because this is how you actually grow as a human being. This is how you acquire everything that you want in life. Yes, we've talked about goals. We've talked about all the different skill sets. But steadfastness of faith is how everything actually comes into being. So we've heard of the word having a model or a framework to work from. Everybody heard of a model, framework? Maybe 50%. So how about the word faith? Have you heard of the word faith? Excellent. So faith is if you were ever raised in a religion, Christian, Catholic, any religion, you go back, they talk about faith all the time. You have to just believe. You have to have faith that the things that you want are going to come to you. One of the interesting factors in making money is that if you go back into all those old scriptures, into the religious textbooks, they talk about money quite a bit. And one thing that comes up often is this concept of faith. And so when you believe without a doubt, what is faith? Before I explain how it works in money, faith is in knowing and understanding beyond sight, beyond seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, smelling, beyond your senses, that something is going to happen no matter what. You have to have faith that things are coming to you, that the world that you can see in your mind but isn't here in the real world yet, you have to have faith that it's possible. Have you ever heard that you have to believe that it's possible before you can achieve it? So I'll tell a little story, the 4-minute mile. Who's heard the story of the 4-minute mile by Roger Bannister? Yes? Excellent. So you're all in the success arena then. And so I'll tell the story again for those who haven't. Roger Bannister was a marathon runner, and he was looking to beat the 4-minute mile. And so this is something that everybody in the world was aiming after. Everybody was hunting for it. They had 4.4, 4.3, 4.1. Everybody had very, very close to the 4-minute mile. And for a long time, we're talking decades, it was not beaten. And then Roger Bannister took it with a different approach. He believed it was possible. And the way he convinced himself that it was possible was going to do under 1-minute miles. If he could do a 1-minute mile and believe that it was possible to do 1 minute, then it was scalable. It was possible to do a 2-minute half mile. I'm sorry, not 1-minute mile. What I mean is a 1-minute quarter mile. So he went, yeah, thank you for the nods and the weird looks. That gives me an awareness that we're doing the wrong thing. Brett Reed, good to see you, brother. So the 1-minute mile, he was moving at a quarter mile, looking at a quarter mile, something much smaller, much more fractional, and saying, can I do 1 minute in a quarter mile? And as he progressed, he got closer and closer and closer and closer to 1 minute. And once he'd passed 1 minute, in his head, the 4-minute mile was completed because he'd been able to produce 1/4 of the results. Is this making sense so far? Excellent. So the next step is to duplicate results. So he started smaller. He didn't aim at the main piece. He said, I'm going to go to that later, but let me first focus on the small piece. He looked at the main goal, broke it into smaller chunks, and then focused on that small chunk until it was completed, until he'd figured out a way to do it. And so once he'd broken the quarter mile in a minute, he went after 2/4 miles, half a mile in 2 minutes. And once he'd accomplished that, he went after 3/4 of a mile in 3 minutes. Now, he got no acclaim for this. Nobody cared that he could run a quarter mile in 1 minute. Does this make sense? It wasn't newsworthy. But was newsworthy was when he was able to run a 4-minute mile, clocked a 4-minute mile in a full mile in 4 minutes, which was previously humanly impossible. So great. You know, we see that that's a good accomplishment. Good for him. What happened next was another person broke the 4-minute mile within months, within 2 months. Years have gone by. Nobody's breaking this. Nobody's hitting this goal. And within 2 months of him saying I did it and here's what I did, suddenly somebody's done it. Within 3 months, 10 people. Within 4 months, 20 people. And then 30 people and 40 people. And now we've got hundreds of people who've broken the 4-minute mile, and it's no longer a big deal. I mean, to the runner themselves, but it's not news. It's not putting you in the Guinness World Book of Records. Does this make sense? So if you want to be successful, what the message behind this, if you want to be successful, you've got to do things that will give you a little bit of faith that it's possible for you. The first step, go and find somebody else who's already done it. Right? It's easy to hit goals that somebody else has already beat. Moral of the story, if somebody else has already accomplished what you're looking to accomplish, go and meet them. Ask what they did. It makes it a lot easier. If you're going for goals nobody else has ever done, well then, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, the Governator, he says, I like it when people give me goals that have never been done before. And they say, it's never been done. Because when I do it, that means I'm the first to do it. And that makes it sure that other people know it's possible. And so think about just the possibilities that are out there now that you can do just about anything. Ron, let's we can bring everybody else into the room, all the other attendees, bring them through. So for everybody in the mentorship, thank you for your few moments of silence. We're going to slide into an experience and an exercise, just like we do every week, a way for you to memorize this, because the key to memory is action. Doing something, writing something down, taking action on it, applying it to your life. Right now, whatever you have in your life, think about it, focus on it, is because you have faith that it exists. Yes? Everything you have in your life exists for you because you believe that it should. You have an understanding that it should be there. If you have a cup in front of you, if you have a pen in front of you or a book in front of you, like Mike Shine has a book in front of him right now. Do you, Mike? Excellent. I was trying to find mine over here, so it may just be on Audible. So we're going to have you talk about the book of the week in a minute. That is in your life because you just wanted it there. You wanted it there. You expected it there. You did something to get it there. Yes, this making sense? The clothes you're wearing, the chair you're sitting in, the room or the outdoor area that you're in, these are realities that you brought to yourself because you believed that you deserved them. This is making sense so far. Walking through this is making sense. Excellent. So imagine now something like, we'll say your cell phone. We'll go deep. We'll go right to the heart. We'll say something like your cell phone is suddenly missing. Suddenly missing. And you don't know where it is. And now 5 minutes has passed and you still don't know where it is. And you're in your house, so not a huge deal, but you're leaving your house right now. And you don't know where your cell phone is. Can we remember what that feels like? Has it ever happened to anybody ever on this call? Yes? Okay. Little anxiety, right? We experience some sort of anxiety. And the emotions can fly around. If anybody's around you in those 5 minutes of missing your cell phone, stand back. It's like suddenly the people you trust with your life, right, who live with you are the enemy. They possibly could be holding back your most precious device ever. Yes? I experienced this? Am I the only one who's ever felt, this attachment to this device? Okay.
This literally happened to me this morning, Walter.
Brett, put your cell phone in better places. Tell your girlfriend, hey, leave it alone. Tell the dog, stop eating your homework. Where'd you put it, Brett? Where'd you find it?
It was on the ledge next to my bed, so it was hidden by the comforter.
Son of a bitch. I'm telling you, those comforters, they're out to get us, Brett. Thank you, bro, for sharing. So we've all experienced this, and some of us happens often. Maybe it happens once a week. The reason you find it is because you believe, you have faith, you have a knowing and understanding that ultimately it is there. Nobody wants your cell phone because none of their stuff is on it. Yes? We all agree that nobody really ever wants to touch yours because they got their own, right? And so there's a faith, there's an understanding that this thing is around here somewhere. And because you have such a strong faith that it's yours, that you want it at that moment, you find it. Has anybody not found their cell phone ever? Mike Shine, Yvette, what did you do within the next 24 hours?
Kept looking.
And did you find it eventually?
No.
So
I know
how
where
long did it take you to replace that cell phone?
Yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah. Crazy, because it belongs in your life, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
It doesn't belong on the back bumper of the Tahoe.
And so life lesson. So this is the 27th week of wealth, 52 weeks of wealth. We teach a lot of lessons here, the wealth principles for millionaires. But every so often we get a real gem. This is, do not put your cell phone on the back bumper of the Tahoe, because you may leave it there. And man, that's the one spot you'll never check.
That's why you need a Tesla.
That's why you need a Tesla. It will tell you where your cell phone is. It's got a little magnetic mount.
Yeah.
Actually, your cell phone stays in your pocket in a Tesla. Full disclosure, I own 10 shares. Mike owns a few more than me. So Tesla. Yvette, your story. How long did it take you to replace or find that cell phone?
Oh, I knew I left it on the top of the car as I drove away. So I wasn't even going to look for it. I already knew it's gone. I went straight to the store and bought another one.
Did you have plans? Did you have other plans that day?
Yes, I had just came out of the grocery store. So I had a carload of groceries and still went straight to T-Mobile.
No kidding. Thank you, Yvette, for your honesty. So now this training is not about cell phones. I promise you. It's about steadiness of faith. When things belong in your life, it doesn't seem to matter if the groceries are going bad in the car. It doesn't seem to matter if you've got other activities that you want to do it doesn't matter how much this is going to cost you, or what it could do to your credit score if you don't have the money, because you'll find a way to pay for that cell phone. Yes? Does this make sense? Because it belongs in your life. Now, I have two, right? I carry an iPhone and an Android because I don't know how to live without both operating systems. And so there is no right or wrong operating system. Let me share that with you. That's my belief. And so when one goes, I instantly run and buy this is a $1,400 S20, right? I had to pay $1,400 because I wanted it that day. Like, that was just like, replace this other one because the battery died and we got to go. And so it was done, right? Imagine, we'll go a little deeper. Believe it or not, we can go deeper than a cell phone. Imagine one of your kids is missing. Have you ever lost your kids before? I mean, like, for 3 seconds, 30 seconds. Yes. Okay. Every parent in the world, every uncle, aunt, I have lost my nephews and nieces before, not for long, but the seconds they're gone, I'm like, oh my God, they belong here and they're not here. Yes. It's like an anxiety worse than your cell phone. It shoots right down your spine, and it affects you in a way that it's like there's nothing more powerful than that. Fair to say? And so when something that belongs in our life is removed, what is it that brings it back? Yes, we feel this adrenaline, we feel this anxiety, we feel all these chemicals and all this energy and these emotions. But what is it that triggers this massive, sometimes massive levels of action? Like Yvette's story, right? She had groceries. She's like, yeah, cell phone store instead. I know these belong in the refrigerator, but I'll let go of this $200, $300 food purchase so that I can go spend more money on a cell phone right now. We're getting how that sounds crazy unless you understand how important a cell phone is to somebody, unless you understand how important your children are to you, or the kids in your life that rely on you, that you're supposed to protect and keep them moving forward. And so when we think about your health, when we think about your wealth and your relationships, you have exactly, because I've proven that you can, if something belongs in your life, that you can go back and get it quickly. Yes. So in your health, wealth, and relationships, the body you have, the financial literacy, the financial amounts, the dollar amounts, the assets, the relationships, the quality of relationships that you have are exactly what you want, or at least they're exactly what you expect. They're exactly what you believe you deserve. There's a faith around that. There's an understanding. And so it's easy for us to dismiss it every day until we take a look at something so simple as our cell phone missing, and we understand that we would do whatever it takes to get it back. And we go even deeper to our kids, and nice people start, like, there are threats. If their child is missing for more than a day, human beings don't even seem human anymore. We've seen those movies, right? Parents can imagine what that would be like. And so the power of faith can bring anything into your life. And so let's take a moment and write down, what is it that you really like about your life? And we'll take about 30 seconds. Write those things down. 3 things that you really like about your life? Let's make one: health, wealth, and relationships. And yes, it's okay to like money. This is the 52 weeks to wealth, 52 millionaire wealth principles. It's okay to like money. So what is one thing you like about money? What is one thing you like about your health? What is one thing you like about your closest relationships? And go. You got about 20, 30 seconds. And this is a very important exercise. So take your time writing it down. Things that are important to you: health, wealth, and relationships. Just one. Biggest one. And notice now that maybe it's something you haven't thought about in a little while, and that's okay. Maybe you think about it every day. Some of you are very good at gratitude and living in abundance and being thankful for the things that are truly important to you. Look at that very thing, and then go to something in your life that is the opposite of that. Something that you actually have in your life that takes away from that one thing. Takes away from that thing that you love, but is also in your life, and it's taking away from it. Write that down. Something for each one of those that takes away from that one you just wrote down. As in, doesn't add value, it removes value. You got about 30 seconds. Everybody doing okay with this so far? Okay, need a little bit more time? Okay. So the point of this exercise, and what I love about exercise like this is you can already see the wheels turning, you can already see the gears turning, you can already see some awareness. And this is important to do. We don't do it often enough. Understand that that negative thing is also in your life because you believe it belongs there. Does that make sense? Something that's taking away from, we just agreed, the most important thing related to your health, your wealth, and your relationships. 3 most important sectors in your life. And then we took the most important of the most important, and we said, this is important to us, most important to us. And on the other side of it, we said, this actually is the opposite of that. It takes away from it. Everybody had something. Everybody had an example of this, yes? Interesting. We must all be crazy. We must all be a little nuts. Why? Think about it for a moment. Why do you allow that in your life? And furthermore, if we've already gone through an exercise that states that we have what we believe we deserve, we have what we believe is possible for us, we have what we have faith in, why would we have faith in something that doesn't help us? Is anybody asking this question to themselves right now? Like, why is this here? Why do I allow this? What am I doing? Anybody already make a decision to remove some of those things? Excellent. Excellent. The reason is simple. You haven't thought about it. It's a very simple process. What we think about, we bring about. What we spend our time on, what we focus on expands. And what we spend time believing with faith and filling with energy of gratitude, what we focus on, what we see with clarity, what we focus on with faith, steadfastness of faith, with gratitude, comes into our lives. We end up with it. Look around. This is what you've got. Everything down to the details of the way your But we see Ryan McDermott, the way your grass is cut, your trees are there, everything is there because you allow it to be there. If you didn't like it, it would be different, down to the detail. I know people who make sure that all their grass is exactly the same. Now, don't worry, Ryan, we can't see yours, but if there was crabgrass in their yard, it would be killed. I've been to other people's houses where crabgrass was their yard, and it wasn't a big deal to them. It was, hey, you know what? It gets pretty good for a little while. Ryan Hayward, Chris Hayward, raising your hand. I see you, brother. So why is it that some people allow bad things in their lives and other people wouldn't even consider even the smallest, slightest bad thing in their life? And why is it that some people with these perfectly manicured yards have terrible relationships? Why is it that some people who have terrible relationships and have no money have some amazing yards? Right? Why is it that the standards are so skewed and so off? And why is it that some people who don't have the money to fix their yard don't have any time, but their yard it must be perfect, have a perfect yard? And vice versa. Why is it with people who don't have any time but have a ton of money and love their relationships still find a way to get their yard cleaned up perfectly? What is that? It's just a belief system that it belongs that way. So let's shift it to money, right? We'll finally go back to my favorite topic. Let's shift it over to money. Why do you have the amount that you have in your life? Anybody got a guess why you have exactly the amount that you have right now? Any guesses? Anybody want to? Go ahead, Dorina. That was very ballsy. Go ahead. What is the reason?
Well, the reason is that what I believe that this is the money perhaps I deserve, and that's how much I can get for sure. And I get stuck in that number versus opening up and accepting that it's abundance.
I like it. Thank you.
I believe in that number, and that's where I get stuck.
I believe that you're correct. And is it possible to change that number?
Yes, it's on my wall, but
But
it sometimes comes in and goes out of my head. So it's not always in there where I would absolute faith is there. Maybe it just comes and goes. So the goal is to grasp, believe, have faith, and then just stick to it. And then everything will be shown to me, the ways, the systems, and abundance will come.
Excellent. That great example. Give Dorina a round of applause. Julia, I saw your hand up as well. Go ahead. What do you think the reason is? Julie B. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, good morning. So your question is why we have the amount of money we have in our life right now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think a lot of it has to do with my past experiences. They weigh in a lot on, mindset.
Yep.
And what you become comfortable with, like Dorina said. And that comfort sets in and you're just, you're cushy, you're comfortable, you can pay your bills. So you're like, okay, this is okay.
Exactly. Thank you, Julie. Give Julie and Dorina a round of applause. Not always easy to speak in front of 49 people, but you guys had the guts and to admit something that most people have a hard time admitting. I make exactly as much as I have because of what I expect I should make. I don't blame the world. I don't blame the economy. Don't blame America. Don't blame the laws, the politicians. Don't blame the business, the industry. I say, this is the amount that I'm comfortable making right now, and that's exactly what I make. This making sense. That's okay to admit. And in fact, it's the first step. When you admit that you have what you have because it's what you expect to have and it's what you believe you'd earn, what Julie said was magical words. I have enough to be comfortable. She said, I have enough to be comfortable to pay all the bills. Well, whose bills? I have a feeling most of you couldn't pay my bills on your salary, right? Ron and I were talking about our mortgages, $18,000 a month. Anybody want to pay $18,000 a month in mortgages?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You want to, right? But
I sure do.
Right. Here's the deal. For most of you, is that income there? yet. It's coming. I understand the manifestation, and it is coming. And for some of you, it is there already. So when it comes to how much you're capable of creating, it's how much do you have to pay to be comfortable, right, Julie? If your bills were $18,000 a month, what would your mind do? What would it? And that's actually just our mortgages. That's not our bills. That's just our mortgages. Go ahead.
Well, and like I said, I've changed my mindset through the years. You know, that's what wisdom does for you. And my new question is, how can I afford this?
Yeah. Give her a round of applause. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How can I afford this? Very good. Excellent. That is the mindset. And so when you start looking at life, we all want to make more money on here. We're not just on here because we love this community and all these people are really special faces to us now. We're on here because we also want to make more money. Yes. Who here wants more time in their lives? More time, more money, more time. More money, more time. Yes. Excellent. So if you want more time and more money, believe that it's possible. Just believe it's yours. Simple. Write it down. Believe it is mine. I deserve more time. I deserve more money. And it is nobody else's fault that you have the amount of time and the amount of money in your life. It is, I can blame no one else. Write this down. I can blame no one else for my level of time or income. It is my choice. It is my choice. I can blame no one else for my level of time or income. It is my choice. And so with this, hang on, Tara.
Yep.
We'll come back to it. Yep. Very good. With this steadfastness of faith that you can change your amount of income just by changing your mindset, your belief system, you create the most powerful tool for manifestation. Now, what is one of the reasons that people don't have more? It's because they don't know more exists. They don't know that there is more out there to be had. And for example, when I left Fall River to go move to Vegas, the reason I did it is because I never wanted a Lamborghini. I never wanted big fancy houses. I never wanted to be in the top real estate so I could just walk outside and have all the other rich people around me. That was never my goal because I'd never experienced it. I grew up in Fall River. I grew up in the working class. I grew up with without being educated. Nobody in my family until my brother had a bachelor's degree. And so education was not super high priority, although we were homeschooled. So didn't even grow up with friends. I mean, we had friends that were close, but we did not grow up with socializing. And so there was a lot of things missing in my life when it came to income, and I recognized that. And so when I went to Vegas, I went so I could hang out with the richest people in the country while they were spending all their money. Does this make sense? It wasn't just like they had their money in their banks and it was hidden. When you go to Vegas, you tend to bring it out and be like, this is what I got. Put it on black. And so watching people spend tens of thousands of dollars in a night, walking around, seeing the people with all the chips, looking at how they were dressed, how they were acting, who was around them, what they were doing. And when you walk outside in Vegas, everybody seems to drive a Lambo out there. It's like Miami. Everybody has a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Corvette. And it turns out you can actually rent them. And that was the reason for the prevalence. I kept seeing the same cars, same license plate, different people. And so you figure it out over a while, but it gives you a different perspective. You can see how hanging out in Vegas for 3 months would give you a different perspective on life, on how much money there is out there. Yes. And so without having ever experienced how people could spend money, it's very hard to want more money. It's not your fault. I mean, now it is. Okay. Before it was unconscionable, now it's conscionable. So yes, you can inspire yourself with more money. You can inspire yourself with more funds, what it would be like to have that money. This is making sense so far. You're in this, you're grasping this, you're liking this, getting some value so far, yes? So what if it was possible to write down the number you made last year, and if there's somebody around you who you're afraid they might see it, you can cover your paper. But write down the amount of money you made last year. And then look at that number. And this is an exercise that's a lot of fun. Add a 0 to it. Just add a 0 to it. Yeah, I know. I saw your face. Fuck. Shit, a 0? I thought we were going to double it. Don't you normally double it? Yes, normally I like to double it. But this time, 10x. There you go. Ryan McDermott has inspired us for going 10X. And so that zero, the first time I did this, made my heart pound. I was like, no, that's not possible. That's terrifying. That's extreme. Write another zero. Go ahead. Write another zero. What's that look like? Is that just as intense, maybe a little more intense? Or has it gotten to the point now where you're like, not fucking possible? Anybody experience not fucking possible, that level? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Let me tell you a story about a 40,000 per year, 30,000 per year person. He wrote the book, broke to $250,000, thought the $250,000 was pretty cool at the time. I now run a company worth Ron is always saying it's 3.8 million because he's on the conservative side. But we are buying another $1.2 million in real estate. We'll close at the end of the month. So I can officially say 5 million. Yes, I have Ron's permission. All right, winning. Okay, so back in the game. So the first time I earned a $40,000 year, I thought it was cool. I thought I was the shit. I thought I was the man. I believed that this was something I could do the rest of my life. And then for the next 10 years, I earned $40,000. I was really good at it. My faith was strong that I could create this and manifest this $40,000 for myself. King of 40,000, nailed it. And so then I decided I wanted more. I decided I wanted more when I was 28 years old. I went on a journey and I started pushing hard because 30 was coming and I wasn't a millionaire, and something in my head said I had to do it. Something in my head said that I had to beat my family's goal. My dad had a goal of being a millionaire by 30 and he didn't do it. To this day has not, well, technically has done it. If you work for 20 years for 50,000 a year, you can too be a millionaire. And so something in me snapped at 28 and I said, I'm going to go after it, going after that million. And although I did not hit the net worth of $1 million by 30, I did own $1 million in real estate by 30. And I did hit the net worth of $1 million by 32. And I was a multimillionaire by 34. And we're about to have a $5 million company by 35. Well, actually, we'll do it by 34. Okay, cool. So I like that. And so the first time I earned $400,000 in a year was a pretty cool year for me. Can you grasp that? It used to take me 10 years to make that money. I did it in 1 year. I did not like the tax bill. Let me be very clear. The tax bill was $58,000 because in real estate, you can shift things around. But $58,000 is not a cool bill to pay when you didn't expect it, right? When you thought somehow the tax man would get away with hide it all and didn't. So $400,000, that was a zero, right? The first zero is easier. The second zero may take longer. Is it okay that it takes longer to make that additional second zero? So when we look at Ron and I's net worth, and we look at the company's net worth, it's somewhere around $3 million, somewhere around $3 million after we close on this property, this portfolio we're buying. And so I'm freaking close. I'm probably a year or two away from my personal net worth being $4 million. But with my partnership, we'll be there probably by the end of the year. Does this make sense? I was 28 when I set the goal to be a millionaire. 28. Well, I was much younger. I was 18 or 20 or 21 or 22, somewhere in that. It was a younger age that I said I wanted to be a millionaire. But it was 28 that something just snapped. Something just was like, oh my God, I'm running out of time. Have you ever had something in your life where you just realize you're running out of time? It doesn't have to be the $1 million. It could have been to jump on this Zoom call, right? It could have been this morning that you just, wow, you know what? Whatever I'm doing right now, I got to stop this and go. Yes? Excellent. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you have faith that something is possible, faith that you can do something, faith that there is a way. And the reason that faith occurred to me is because I had saved up $2,000 when I was 18 years old. I was saved up $2,000 working $4 an hour. Has anybody ever worked for $4 an hour? Excellent. So some people are old like me. No, well, I was just, okay, so I was working $4 an hour when I should have been making $7, but this was under the table. And so I was working $4 an hour, and I saved up $2,000. Do you know how hard it is to save up $2,000 making $4 an hour? There are people making $40,000 a year who can't save up $2,000. Does that make sense? In a whole year, they can't save it. Know those people? Ever been one of those people? I've been. So to me, I realized, I was like, wow, what I've done is nearly impossible. This is a strength of like a fortitude that I have, this ability to delay gratification, this ability to be so disciplined, to deny myself all of the fun that I know is possible with $4 an hour. I know because my brother would spend his money. My brother would spend it and I'd be like, no, dude, like, no. And he'd buy stuff for me. I'd be like, dude, I don't want it. No, it's okay. Like, not interested. And he'd be like, oh, no. He's like, you should spend your money. You got to enjoy it. Why do we work anyway? And I'd be like, to save? You know, like, that's why we work, to save. And he'd be like, nah, man, we work to enjoy. And so just different mindset. Does this make sense? It's just a different faith, I set a goal. We live in the same house. We're a year and a half apart. We shared the same room for the longest time, but something happened in my life that said $1 million was important. Does that make sense? And for my brother, that never triggered, never went off, never a thing, never mattered. He runs a successful business and he's buying real estate now, working with my father. And so he sees it now, but it happened to me earlier. When you decide that $1 million is important to you, $1 million will flow to you. When you decide that you deserve it, that you want it, that you're worthy of it, $1 million is a small dollar amount. When I think about starting a company, I can't think about a company that doesn't make $1 million. It's like, why waste my time, right? Like in my head is like, I'm not going to spend time on that business because it doesn't make $1 million. Like, in fact, what it really is, and Darina knows that I say this all the time, if there's something that crosses the boundary of my faith or my belief system, I'm like, fuck that. Like, just instantly. Like, it just comes out. I can't stop it. It's like Tourette's. If somebody tells me to go on an appointment for more than 30 minutes, in my head, fuck that, comes out. I can't stop it. Uncontrollable. Does that make sense? That's a belief system. That's a frame. That's faith that my mind knows the value of my time. We're getting this. You could set these up too. You don't have to be as vulgar as I am. You could say, sorry, no thank you. Not interested. It's not going to work out for me. That's not the direction I want to go in. When people ask me, so you'll get, the more successful you get, the more influence you get. You're going to get a lot of offers. Right now, there may be no opportunities to grow being thrown at you, but I assure you, the more attention you get, the more success, the more momentum you start building in your business, the more people are going to start contacting you. Real estate agents. Where are my real estate agents at? Licensed agents? Dude, the second you get your license, I swear every single affiliate marketer, network marketer figures out how to get to your cell phone. And then they're like, hey, you should start selling our protein shakes. This is a good idea. It ties in. You should sell solar panels because those go on houses and that's kind of real estate. Let's get in the game. Not saying that those aren't great avenues for income and great strategies, but the point is that all these options get thrown at you. We get that? Because you've somehow done something that other people haven't done, and now you're to another level. When you first make the first $1 million, I don't know if this is a mindset thing or if this is just how the people close to you will be or what they'll say. But my family started saying, oh, yeah, Uncle Walter's got the money for it. And I quickly, because my mindset was, yeah, that money's working already. Sorry, guys, put it to work already. Sorry. Whoops. So I can't afford that one right now because I put it to work. And I know, Yvette, I could have said, how can I afford it? For sure. Didn't want to. That's the reality of it. And that's what knowing yourself and having that faith and that understanding is. Like Mike Shine. Mike Shine says, I always pay, because Mike Shine says, how can I get it? How can I get to the next level? How can I? Terry, I stopped you earlier. I know I saw your hand up. So Terry's one of our coaches, Generator Coaching. He's helping people double their wealth, increase their income. Terry has, you've now experienced a $40,000 month, yes?
Yes.
Very close. If not, we're
yes.
Done it.
Done it. Yeah.
So
one thing I was going to say is we were talking about being stuck in the money because of comfort, but a lot of times it's discomfort with discomfort. And so we got to actually allow ourselves to be uncomfortable in the discomfort and move into it, because there is no growth in comfort. And so it's almost the opposite of what we were talking about. Well, I just get comfortable with $20,000, or I get just comfortable with get comfortable with being uncomfortable and see what you can do instead of listening to yourself about where you're at. That's it.
Thank you, Terry. I agree. You got to get uncomfortable where you are in life. Sometimes it gets hot here in the Alchemist Lair, and so I invested in a fan. This fan not only makes me feel more comfortable, makes me feel more abundant. Look at the Benjamins, huh? Look at those guys. They're killing it. Mike Shine, book of the week, The Wealthy Gardener. Can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Absolutely. So The Wealthy Gardener by John Saforic. This book is near and dear to my heart because the subtitle is Life Lessons on Priority Between Father and Son. And I am a father. I'm also a son.
Mike Shine, father of how many?
Father of 5.
Excellent.
And it's just it's a cool book because all I'm reading these days is financial books and spiritual books, and so a lot of them don't have a story. That's why I love Rich Dad Poor Dad so much, because it had a story that you could follow along and get the lessons. Also, Richest Man in Babylon's another one like that. This has a really nice story about the wealthy gardener and also about the writer who is a chiropractor. And one of the things that relates to the faith is when the chiropractor opens his practice, he just has faith that his phone is going to ring without doing any advertising or without doing any sort of publicity. And suddenly, because his inner being says that the phone's going to ring, he's inundated with calls for his business. And I started putting that into practice with my closing business. And I swear to God, this is not, it actually happened. I am buried in closings. Thank you. It's all on faith. And yeah, it's an amazing book. Just a quick read on the back. The Wealthy Gardener. This book can help you if you want wealth and prosperity, but don't trust you'll someday have it. You aim for a balanced life, but you always worry about your money problems. Wealth is difficult for you due to your unique economic disadvantages. You are always busy, but still you have little financial direction. You struggle financially, but are cynical of visualization and the law of attraction. There's like 5 more in the back of the book, but don't worry about it. Just read the book. It's a really, really nice story. It's got people that listen to The Wealthy Gardener. It's got people in there that don't listen to him. And it's just a great book. So I highly recommend it. I listened to it on Audible, and then I bought the book. So.
Same here. I've listened to it on Audible, and from the scan of my library, I have not bought the book yet, but I'm going to listen to it again. Give Mike Shine a round of applause. For every single week, Mike shows up on the call. He and I put the effort in, and he brings a book every single week that ties into the lesson, ties into the wealth principles. If you've read Broke to a Quarter Million, then you know that we're on a challenge. Mike has taken up the challenge. Many of our people who've been through the mentorship program are taking up the challenge of 52 weeks a year. That's a book a week. And most of us are doing it. I'm now, thanks to Mike, because he also has his spiritual books that he throws in every so often. We're at like 2 or 3 books a week. It's insanity. The speed is insanity. And we've found a way to do it because we do cheat. We use Audible, right? But we're taking the information. He and I have great conversations about the books afterwards. And so I know that he's containing it. I'm containing it. So if you are interested, if you can inspire yourself to become a millionaire, if you can get yourself thinking about it, that you deserve it and you earn it, it will flow to you. Mike and I sat maybe a month ago and we talked about, getting a goal of 40 closings in a month. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation about how do we get to 60 closings? And Mike, you're close, right?
Oh, we did 60 this month.
Give Mike Shine a round of applause. I love being around people who are successful, who want more for other people. The only way he makes money as an attorney is if other people are making money. He's not a normal attorney. He's not a one of those, the people who like fight for criminals. This is a real estate attorney. Mike does closings. He makes sure that your contracts are right. You make sure that you're getting title. He protects people. And when people are selling real estate, they're making money, right? This makes sense. When they're buying real estate, you make your money on the purchase. You may see it on the sale, but you made your money on the purchase. So Mike is seeing paychecks on both sides of these transactions, helping people make money. And he's helped 20 more people this month than he normally would. And in the past, it was a lower number, 20, 25. So he, because he believes he can help more, is helping more. Does that make sense? Excellent. The amount of people on this call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you in the community, man. Mike Shine, holistic attorney. So Mike has helped us out with the books. He and I sat down for 2 or 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and we just put down all the books that we thought would be really perfect. These are books he's read, I've read. We've experienced these books. We knew that they'd be the perfect ones for each lesson. That said, there is a book we just read, The Tribe of Mentors. I've been going through it, and Gary Vee is in there. This was done by Tim Ferriss. He interviewed a lot of really cool people, and a phenomenal book. And it slides me into an opportunity to sell. I'm going to sell, and I'm going to actually make this 30 seconds. So the mentorship is $1,000. It's 8 weeks. We're going to pull you through. We're going to force your mind to say, and the only reason you join the mentorship is because you want the $1 million goal. That's it. You join the mentorship, you want to make $1 million. Anything less than that is not why you join the mentorship. We agree? That does not mean that you'll have $1 million at the end, although some people have left with $1 million, but that's because they were dangerously close. They were already there, and it was just a stretch, finishing the stretch and now earning the second $1 million and going after it in an easier manner, having the faith and understanding that it's possible to do this much easier. So the people in our mentorship, hands to the camera if you've been through it, graduated, are still in it, or are a coach, still operating, helping people. Awesome. We appreciate each and every one of you, because not only did you believe in yourself when you put down that $1,000, you believed in us. You believed in what we were capable of doing and what we were able to help you with your mindset. So thank you. It means a lot to us every time somebody signs up and we go through the process, and I do the one-on-one and we do the graduation call, and you say, man, you changed my life, or this experience has really helped me out, or I see things differently. Or one of our coaches, you say, hey, this coach has really helped me out. He's absolutely amazing, or she's amazing. It is such an inspiration for us to keep going and keep going and going and improving. And we're constantly improving. So the book I'm writing right now, Real Estate Alchemist, Fast Tracking Retirement, is so much fun because of all of the lessons I've learned from each and every one of you in the mentorship program. Each and every one of you, the questions you've brought, the experiences you've had, you are the type of people I want to spend more time with. Does that make sense? I know the kind of people I want to be around. And it's the people who want to earn more, who want to grow more, but there's also this requirement that everybody else has to win. It's this excitement that everybody else around you also has to do more, grow more, be better, happier. And so that element, as we started bringing people through the program, I started saying, look, this is intense. We're going to be reading a lot of books. We're going to be doing accountability. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to be doing the net worth tracking sheet every single week. There's going to be videos. There's going to be a personality assessment. You're going to be learning more about yourself. And so everybody who came through that said yes, it was almost like a beta test. Like, we got to just study their brains. It's like we got unicorns here. Because I've been teaching for a long time, and I made the mistake of going out and just teaching what I wanted, what I thought the world needed, what I thought that they needed to learn to get to the next level. And what I discovered was this wasn't moving people. And so this mentorship program has allowed me to learn really what moves people, really what works for you guys. Everybody in the mentorship who's experienced it in some way or other sees a difference, sees movement, sees action, sees a strategy, a plan. Yes. Excellent. It's only getting better, and I'm putting it in the book. So this way we'll have an asset to go back to. And what's funny about this book is it's really more for me than for anybody else. As I'm going through the book, I'm like, man, okay, this chapter is a resource for me to go back to and remind myself of what I thought at this time of super study, because I'm studying a lot, that this is exactly how to handle this situation forever. Amen. Like, have you ever known something was the right thing to do and then done something else because you forgot? Because it was like a year or two earlier you did the research? Yes? Anybody on here trade stocks before and just do something you know is the wrong thing to do, but you it was against the fundamentals, but you did it anyway? Yes. Anybody in business ever do something that you know is stupid, but you did it because in the moment it felt right? How about a relationship, right? In your close relationships, you made or said or did something that, like, a year ago, you at some point realized, you said, I'll never say those words again. That's silly. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't work out for me. And yet they came out of your mouth in anger or at the wrong time. Ever experienced this? Am I the only one? All right. So that said, these things can be taught and learned, and you can decide it's the right thing to do, and you can write it down. But if you don't go back and review it, it's not valuable. And so all of the principles that I'm pulling out from these conversations, from the one-on-one coachings, from my own personal experience building a $5 million company, that all of it put into the book so that I can go back and reference. And I've made it very simple for myself. I've given it chapters. I've given it sections with names so I can easily go back and find, okay, this is my chapter on how to be the bank, the best way to protect myself, the best way to find the right people to lend money to, the best way to go and figure out where I can get more capital from. This is how I get the deal. I got a section for get the deal where I can just go right, whoop, scan right through it and figure out my different strategies for getting the money, getting the deal. And there's a section for get the money where I figure out I've written down all of the consistent systems that I have used or that I know I'd like to use, and research and study them and put them all in there so that if ever I say, Ron, just use this, right? Or as we scale the company, I don't necessarily have to go and teach somebody. I can say, yeah, this is all the stuff I do. This is what I say in a conversation to get what I want. So now you can say in your conversation how to get what you want. Does this make sense? So the book is for me. The book is a very selfish project. But here's the other side to the book is it's going to help you as well if you want the same things that I want. And I'm looking to build a 10,000 unit REIT. I'm looking to do it with people that I love, people that I enjoy being around, people that I like, 100 millionaires. I'm looking to build 100 millionaires. And so this book is designed to keep me on that path. The book is designed to keep reminding me of the principles of how to do it, how millionaires are built, how wealth is built, how to acquire 10,000 units. And so I can only personally teach how to acquire 50 units because I have 50. I have been to 50 before, been to 57 before. We'll be at 60 again by the end of the month. Not this month. No, yeah, this month. Hey, congratulations, it's August. So by the end of this month, we'll be at 60 units again. And so I can teach you how to get to 50, right? Is it fair that I'm not going to teach you how to get to 100 yet? Excellent, because I haven't done it yet. But next year, there will be another book, and I will teach how to get to 100. It'll be an addition. It'll be an addendum. Maybe an appendix at the end. We'll get a revised version. But the steps may be the same. It's possible because I've discovered that most of success is just like Roger Bannister, doing what you want to do on a smaller scale very, very well, and then the next year doubling it, and the next year doubling it. And as you do, you find that your income is slowly expanding, your relationships slowly improving, your health stacking up on top of the other habits that you're putting into. This making sense? Was this a cool conversation? Excellent. So we are currently looking to add more people to the mentorship program because I really like to take it to the next level. I discovered I'm not bringing enough people through it to hit my goal of 100 millionaires. And so in order to hit, because not everybody moves at the same speed. And look, I've never been the kind of guy who bets on one horse. I spread my bet. I diversify. I make sure that I'm betting on 100 horses if I want one to win. I make sure that I spend my money on 1,000 horses if I want 100 to make it through. Does that make sense? Also, here's the other dilemma I have. Millionaires make up 1% of the population. And so I got to assume every 100 people that come through, well, maybe not. Maybe every 100 people that come through this free program are going to be the 1% that end up through the 100 millionaires. Because this is a free program. There's no qualifier. The $1,000 is a qualifier. That's okay, you believe in yourself. Because I don't need you to believe in me. I believe in me. I'm good. Like, I know I can change your life. I need you to believe in you. Does that make sense? Yes? Cool. So
100.
100. You wait till you see the new shirts. Again, the shirts are for me. If you see me wearing the REA shirts, the Agent Alchemist shirts, those are for me. I buy them for myself. But yes, at some point we'll probably make them available for other people. The 100 Millionaire shirts, the logo I just put out of the point is not to work, it's to generate income. Those are for me to wear.
You're putting our logo on there too?
Generate.
That's awesome.
You know, I knew you would say something, right? So it is also right here on the bottom of the book. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. This is why our businesses are so symbiotic, Terry. It's all about generating more income, generating better relationships, generating better health. I just finished the first 4 chapters of the book, so give me a round of applause. First 4 chapters. Man, let me tell you, proofreading takes me 2 to 3 hours a chapter. It is not like reading a normal book. I burn through books. I proofread slow as a motherfucker. Like, it is the slowest experience. I know. Sorry, Paramjeet. Good to see you, brother. So it is a painful experience, but I love it because after I've finished, I read the chapter again for the final time, and I think to myself, man, this is good. Like, I want to read it again, which means I've done my job. It means I will come back and I will read it again. It's inspiring me. It's making me feel good. And so if I can read my own stuff again, I assure you it will be clear enough for you to read. Does that make sense? Excellent. So I'm 4 chapters in. I've been staying up till, and Dorina will testify, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning every single night, except for 1 or 2 nights, which I do catch up on sleep. But I have been double timing it because it's important to me. It's my faith. It's a belief system that this book is going out on August 22nd, and I've got to do whatever it takes to get it there. Does that make sense? It's insane. If you ask Dorina how my life lives right now, if you ask Ron how our business is running, 100% he's handling it all, and I'm focused on this book. It's insane the amount of momentum I have behind this because I believe it should have been done already. Does that make sense? Those things you wrote down earlier, I want you to write down a way that you could increase more of that in your life, improve the quality of it. Each one of those things. What could you do to increase your health, wealth, and relationships just a little better, make it better in your life right now? And then write down a little timeline. Maybe these are small, they're easy to accomplish. Maybe it's by the end of the day, you just do something by the end of the day to make sure you're moving in that direction, because most of the things in your life are small habits. I know for this book, if I just set the habit up of sitting in front of my laptop, I know the rest kind of takes care of itself. I know that for eating healthy, if I set the habit of I don't have any bad food in my house, I don't have a choice but to eat healthy. I know that when it comes to the habit of working out, I had to put a gym in my living room to make sure that I at least think about doing an exercise. That's making sense. I know when it comes to relationships, I set a habit of if I walk past Dorina's office, she gets a kiss. If I see her in the house, we get close enough, there's a kiss. Just to say, just in case. Ron, you get a fist bump or a high five. The kiss is not for business partners. Sorry, bro. So there are things that you can do in your life right now, small things that could be done today. Implemented habits that would really improve your life. And that kiss, the relationship kiss, that came from my coach that I paid a lot of money to spend time learning from. Right, Terry? Did we invest money in a coach?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Would most people say
Many coaches.
Many coaches.
Many
and would
coaches,
most people
many
say
dollars.
what we've spent on coaching, most people don't even earn in a year. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm over 85,000. Terry, how much have you spent in coaching?
200.
200,000. Not $200, right?
200,000.
200,000. And so we've spent money on our coaching and we've gotten results. Some of them are as simple as make sure when you're next to your spouse, you kiss her. Is it okay that that's one of the lessons I learned from a coach I paid a lot of money from? Yeah. It's worked. It's worked. And it works in other things in your life too. If you want something around, make sure you let it know it's important. Money is important. If you don't treat it so, it won't be around. If you treat money like it's no big deal, well, there's no big deal if I'm here or not. Well, is there? When you treat money like it's something important to have, it belongs in your life, that you have faith that it's there and not just money, the assets that money buys, the assets that reproduce money. When you see those assets in your life and you treat them with respect, you treat them as if they're important, Some of our assets is real estate investors. Where are the real estate investors at? Hands to the camera if you're a real estate investor. Whether you own it yet or it's coming to you or you're working towards it, you're a real estate investor. Some of our assets are our tenants. I think of every tenant who pays every single month as an asset. It's a good relationship. It's somebody I care about, somebody who cares about us, cares about the home they live in, cares about the building, cares about the community. Those are assets. I think of our property managers, our maintenance people, the people who are out there doing the job every day. Those are assets. Those relationships are assets. They care about us. We care about them. We pay them what they're worth. Our tenants pay us what we're worth. Sometimes a little under market value, but that's okay. You know, it's COVID. We be nice, be gentle. And we think about my business partnership. Ron's important to me. If he ever needs anything, I'm there for him. If I ever need anything, he's there for me. We cover each other's backs. There's a support system. It's understood that in tough times, we're both experiencing tough times. In good times, we're both experiencing good times. And in good times, we prepare for the future. We understand the years of feast mean the potential for years of famine for other people, not us, because we stay in abundance. We'll always pivot. We'll always adjust. But we want to make sure we're in a position to help people out if things go south. Does that make sense? And so this training is one of our ways of giving back. We make far more money on our real estate portfolio, I assure you, than the $1,000 we collect from mentorship. So that's not what it's about. It's really about building a bunch of people who can do well for themselves, who can expand their minds, expand the world, so that when things do go south for the economy, everybody in here has the ability to make their economy grow, make their own economy, expand. Things have been shaken up for a lot of landlords. Things have been shaking up for a lot of real estate agents in the past couple of months. Our numbers have grown. We've done better. We've improved. And so it's possible if you know what you're doing. It's possible if you believe that you're worthy of that level of income, that your business should be fun. I love my job every day. This is the only work I have to do. The book is a project I've put on myself that I love. I enjoy doing it. These trainings that I do every week, I think I spend 4 or 5 hours a week in trainings. I love these. These are the moments that I live for, my most fun. And so the rest of the week is spent hanging out at the cigar shop or reading a book or responding to students or investors or putting deals together, just fun stuff. I don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to be anywhere to earn money. You just have to have the right relationships that are doing the right things. Does that make sense? Excellent. Excellent. This has been a fun one. Everybody's gotten value out of today. Learned something new, maybe just remembered something old, something that you knew was already there and you just a refresher. It's good to have. It's good to have. I just finished the chapter for goal setting in the book, and I do a little guided meditation, although I had to tweak it very differently to do it in book form, in written form, but it put a little guided meditation into it. And as I was going through the process, rereading it, I realized that I've got a pretty damn good life. And so I'm very thankful for each and every one of you, the opportunity that you guys give me every week to unlock some of the secrets, to take the rock and lift it up a little bit so you're not living in the shadow of ignorance, right? So, or just forgetfulness, because you know these principles. If we're honest, we all know these. Yes, they're all there. It's just a reminder, bringing it to the forefront, showing priority on it. So I'm very thankful for each and every one of you, for the coaches who help us move people forward, for the property managers, the agents, the attorneys, the lenders, the wholesalers, the people who are bringing us deals, for everyone on this call for coming in and working on yourself so that one day we can maybe partner up. You can bring us a deal or we can help you with a deal so that at some point we can help as agents to service your closings, to get you into more deals. Maybe we can help as wholesalers to help you find your deal, or as a flip or rehabber to help you find a property for you to invest in. One way or the other, maybe I just help you as a coach, as a mentor, to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. But thank you for the opportunity. Whether or not you and I ever do business, I'm thankful that you're here. And it just was very much on my heart around 4 or 5 o'clock this morning as I was writing that chapter, to let everybody that I see every week know that you guys are important. I appreciate you. So thank you. That said, questions? Questions, concerns. What was the biggest aha today? What was something that this conversation about steadiness of faith brought up for you? And if you're in the mentorship program, feel free to jump in. Elizabeth, go ahead.
Yeah, mostly, I just don't think that most people pay attention to the balance in different areas. So I'm really glad that you brought, to the forefront, health, wealth, and relationships. So a lot of times what happens is people will focus on one area, and then that kind of takes away from the other areas, and they're like, well, how am I screwing up? Well, that's kind of how you're screwing up. You're not paying attention to, your whole life, your life as a whole. Yeah.
Very good, Elizabeth. Thank you. Give Elizabeth a round of applause. It's awesome. Yeah, I know. I ended up, I focused deep on money, and I ended up divorced and sick. So definitely don't do that, right? What else? What else have you learned? Ahas from today.
I need to cut out the junk food.
Mike Shine, our holistic attorney, is also vegan. What junk food is there?
Oh my God, that's the problem. When I first became vegan a few years ago, it was like, vegetables, and I dropped a lot of weight, and I was in great shape. And then you realize that you can eat pasta, you can eat bread. They now make so many substitutes like Beyond Meat sausages, Beyond Meat burgers. I mean, you can, and by the way, Oreos and beer, vegan. So there you go.
I heard French fries are vegan too, so yes. I could actually do this.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Awesome. Yeah, Mike, it's true. It's true. You focus on all of them. They're all important, right? Put them all in to say, look, I just want more of everything. I want to be in great shape. I want to be in great relationships, and I want the abundance. I want the wealth and the health.
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of exercise, and as you said, I am already vegan. So that was my good side of this when you asked that what was a good thing. And then I said the bad thing was just junk food. It's
Oreos.
It's around the house because of the kids. And as the day goes on, my willpower wanes. Yes, it is so.
There's a saying, willpower, environment is stronger than willpower. So you know the secret, Mike. Don't have it in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut out the veggie chips.
Yeah.
And the vegan ice cream. You gotta stop.
So if you fry, this is my question, if you fry Oreos in coconut oil,
yeah,
that's technically still vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for you too. Do it.
Yeah.
It sounds good. I mean, coconuts, right? What else? What other lessons? What jumped out at you? Go ahead, Mike.
I got one other thing. So, when you were talking about in money, I find that what stops me a lot is, I think I put it in the comments, is DISC, the C crap, because I'm a high I, and when I get bogged down in doing applications and things like that, so delegation is key